This show is a dream come true for me. I published this book in relationship with an event I held at the Kiyomizu Temple in May of 2011. And when the curators here at the Sagawa Art Museum saw this book, they agreed with me that it would be meaningful to have a show only of parabolic paintings. And this is the result. So this first space here is views from around Japan. There's Japan's largest camphor tree, the highest mountain on the island of Shikoku. There's a giant beech tree. Your visual field is so much larger on these parabolic paintings. Over 180 degrees of visual field without the distortions of a fisheye lens. And then the second space we enter is paintings of Shiga Prefecture, where I live. It's very near Kyoto. I love the way your eye kind of swoops the curve of the panel, just invites you right in and suggests the dimension of the depth of this scene. And as we turn the corner, suddenly a completely different painting meets our eye. I wanted to talk about the first paintings of all, the famous cave paintings of Ice Age Europe. Lascaux and Altamira are famous, but less well known, but arguably even more important, more interesting, is the cave at Chauvet, the Chauvet Cave in the Ardèche region of France. These paintings are an astonishing 30,000 years old or more. In other words, they're the oldest known paintings in the entire world by thousands of years. And you would think that they would be kind of primitive stick figures, but they're not. They're amazingly skillfully drawn depictions of animals. This painting is in this show, and I went to a great deal of trouble to make this panel. It looks like a cave wall. It's in this show because I wanted to make a point, and the point was that the discovery of painting, the very first paintings, were not flat. They were curving. They are taking the configuration of the cave wall and making it come alive. I'll give you an example. The aurochs, that's the ancestor to our modern domesticated cattle. Here's a picture of an aurochs. It follows this arch, this natural arch in the cave wall, and then a second arch becomes the horns of the animal. Or perhaps this bison. It's kind of a dihedron projecting out from the cave wall. And the head of the bison comes out like that. Gives it a dimensionality that's astonishing. The largest painting in the whole show is this view of Mount Everest. So using this view of Everest, I want to explain a little bit of why these parabolic paintings are configured the way they are. Everest is, as everyone knows, the greatest mountain on Earth, but it's also surrounded by great mountains. So there's very few places where you can actually see a clear view of the Everest Massif itself. One of those places is a place called Gokyo Peak. It's about 5,300 meters tall. And I went there in 1995 and did a series of watercolors, camped out at, I guess that's close to 18,000 feet. And you standing on Gokyo Peak, looking down at some of the lower ridges with the stone cairns and the strings of prayer flags. And I said, looking down, therefore the panel bells downward. It's not a straight line. There's no right-angled corners. It's all curving lines. Just the way your eye flows. It flows in curving lines. And you're looking down, and so the panel kind of bells out downward, it also curves towards you. So both of these things are saying to you subliminally, you're looking down and you're looking at something close. As you look to the distance from Gokyo Peak, you'll see that the panel narrows somewhat. This gives you a kind of geometric perspective effect of distance. In other words, as the panel narrows, it suggests to you subliminally distance. It also, panel becomes concave. From convex, it becomes concave. This also suggests to you, in a subliminal way, distance, things that are farther away. And as you look at Everest, you'll notice that the outer outline of this panel, it swells at the top. It kind of curves, it kind of bells upward. Just as it belled downwards before, it bells upward here to emphasize the fact that you're looking up at this mountain. And the result is you're standing here and the painting gives you the feeling as if you're looking at the real thing. And that's something a flat painting can't do.